Did you get the wine?
Yeah.
You ready? Yeah, let's drink.
Welcome to the Buff First Wine podcast, where we unwind over wine.
We said what we said, and we stand by it. Settle in.
So how are you, Quayla?
I'm good. Yeah, it's the weekend after the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And I'm doing good. I feel relaxed for once in my life. Like I had a day where I did nothing, like literally nothing.
What time did you wake up?
I woke up at like 9:30.
Oh, that's pretty early.
Yeah, my dog was up puking all fucking night, so I had to take him for a walk. And I had to get him out the way early because I knew I wasn't getting up again. Like when I got up, the sun was going down.
Oh.
Like, yeah. So I have been relaxing and I feel good. How are you?
I'm good. I kind of the same. So because it was Thanksgiving, I think this is like the first long weekend that I've had where I wasn't traveling in the past like 2 months, I would say. So I moved into this apartment in May.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that when I move in, as soon as I unpack what I have, like the first day, anything after that second day needs to wait for the next 6 months or 7 months.
Wow,
for me
she
to
said
unpack.
6 months,
Yes.
not 6 weeks.
So I still had a couple of boxes. I had some like artwork just laying on the floor and some mirrors that I decided, okay, I have time that I don't feel rushed. So I spent a lot of this week and today as well just cleaning and like putting things in place.
Okay.
And moving things around too, because I've had my things, I guess, like in my living room in a particular spot. So wanted to, move things around, see how I like it, get a different idea.
A new vibe, cleaning house.
Yeah. And then, that's pretty much what I did. And then other than that, I went to my yoga class this morning, which I really needed. After cleaning all weekend, like I needed to like stretch my body. So that's really nice. But no, it was really great. And long story short, it was a good day and it was also a good weekend. And I feel like tomorrow is going to be when I actually get to relax a little bit. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Well, happy Sunday, guys. It's Sunday because you're talking to us. And we've had a great weekend. It's a long weekend because it's the holidays. So we are just in here vibing. Per usual.
And we love it.
Yeah. So what are we drinking today, Wendy?
Okay. So today we are drinking a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
It's called Josephine and it's a 2021 Cabernet. I'm trying to see where it's from. I'm pretty sure, it is a product of France. So yeah, it is a French wine again. Okay. One of these days I'm gonna try to get something different.
Yeah, like what do you have against Italy?
Nothing.
Yeah.
When I look at it, I'm like, ooh,
French wine.
Let
me pick it up.
This is
my vibe. This is my aesthetic.
But this one is interesting because it comes from the south of France.
Okay.
And
nice.
It offers a touch of spice and fruit aromas. So from the bottle, it says it can be paired with stew, a lamb leg. That's very oddly specific.
Oddly specific.
And grilled meat. So I'm gonna have to try this with some lamb leg at some point. I don't know where I'm gonna get some lamb leg. But
okay. That's funny. They were like, not no lamb chops, baby. Not your lamb lollipops.
Because my mom's birthday was last weekend, so we did a
happy
bunch
birthday,
of
Mom.
things.
Yeah.
We did a bunch of different things, and in the evening we went to have steak. What is your favorite steak?
I would have to say, I'm about to be very specific and I'm finna tell on myself, but I would like a dry aged ribeye from like 60. Hey,
in other
y'all
words,
know who I am.
Like, it's one of those be where you see it on the menu and it's like market price.
Yeah.
NP. They don't even write the price on there. It's like NP. Talk to the
waiter. Yes. No, they're the kind of steaks I like. But no, for real, like I don't know if you remember, it was maybe 2 summers ago, and we went out to eat. It's a restaurant in Chicago. This is a plug, and it's not sponsored. We ain't on a sponsorship level yet. But yeah, so we went to Elche, and we got, I don't know how we were feeling this day, but it was hot as fuck, and we got 2 dry-aged steaks. And that shit was so buttery and fire. And we got a bunch of wine. We got octopus. We ordered up a bunch of shit that day.
It was really
and I was like, from this day forward, I only need to be eating dry-aged steaks. And then I got the price on the menu, and I was like, ooh, this is date food. Somebody take me out, and then I can order a dry-aged steak.
Definitely date food. It was. I actually remember that day too.
It was so good.
But that was funny because I don't remember what I had, but I remember what I was wearing.
Of course you do.
Is very weird. Like I was wearing this like long green dress, and I had like blonde hair.
Yeah, you definitely were. I do remember that day too.
Yeah, I think it was just like a good day. I think after we just went into some Chicago shenanigans and just
probably
started, like,
I feel like we were like walking around. It was hot as hell that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are in Chicago, definitely check out Elche. It's the Argentinian steakhouse, and they have very good wines and very good appetizers, but it's high as hell. Bring your coin because you will have to pay.
Yeah. But it's really good.
It's worth it.
I've been sort of like trying to see like what are the different steakhouses that I could visit in Chicago. Like I think I've gone to for the most part, like the good one. But I'm sure there are others that you just really don't know. And I'm the type of person that I go by ratings a lot. Like if your rating is 4.6 and below,
she do not fuck around with the ratings.
I'm probably not gonna come or visit.
Wendy has definitely improved my rating games because I thought a 4.0 was good. She was like, fuck no. I'm like, a 4 out of 5? What do you mean? That means people really enjoy it.
That's a B.
Wow. Okay, I'm letting them know that you refined my out of eat experience.
I'm glad.
Because
you need to step it up a little bit.
Shut up. I'm crying. Yes. So now I'm a little more lenient. It has to be like 4.3 or above.
That's fair. I think you did well going from 4.0 to 4.3. Before I used to be like, if it's 4.6 and lower, I don't care. But if I look at it now, I usually go by the numbers. So if it's like 4.5, but you have like 2,000 reviews, I'm like, okay.
It's probably fire.
It's some shit that, people might not like, and it's not necessarily about the food.
Right.
So I could still give you a chance. But so that's funny, because if you have like 4.5 and you have like 2,000 ratings, and there's another restaurant that's like 4.7 and has like 200 ratings, I'll go to the 4.5 one. Because that's telling me that a lot of people care enough to rate you. The sample, right. The sample, exactly. The sample number is also like, it's higher or like bigger than the other one. So I also have that caveat, but...
As you can see, we paid attention in statistics class, baby.
A little bit. That's funny because I remember my statistics teacher in college. It was a drunk man. It was the most intelligent drunkard I've ever seen. Like, it was kind of like teacher that like just comes to class and it could be wearing like the weirdest shit and you just know this motherfucker's drunk.
I'm crying.
But once he starts to talk statistics,
intelligence,
his brain just like
turns on in that moment.
Up. And I'm just like, who are you?
Denzel Washington from Flight was your statistics teacher.
Okay, neither was it.
You never seen that? No. He was drunk as hell flying a plane and then he got into an accident and then they took his blood alcohol level and they found out that nigga would be drunk on 90% of his flight. That was your statistics teacher.
Yeah, no, that was it. Because I remember distinctively because he, at the end of the semester, I didn't get to like him anymore. But it was such an interesting professor to me because I was just like, I know you're drunk. I know, like, there's
what's your story
going on. Right.
Like, why are you drunk
at
2 in the afternoon?
Kind of class of, like, I don't really care for math, so I never really paid attention. But he kept it interesting enough for me to be like, now I want to come to class and see
because
what
of you
do.
Right.
Like this time, I just want to see how you behave and all. Because you would just say some shit or like just act that you're just like, wait, what?
Right.
But nah, he was a very, very, very smart man, and I could see why they kept him in the school.
Crying, and he was white, probably.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly. Who else could be drunk on the job and still have the job?
It was I don't say that a lot, but it was an intelligent white man.
Crying.
Anyway, that reminds me. of that topic reminded me of college and how, like, as I look at where I am now and where I was in college, just realizing how far I've come, and not even in a like, oh, like I've done so much type of shit. Just like how broke as fuck I was, and how I thought then adulthood was, I was just stepping into it, but I thought it was kicking my ass. So don't even ask me how adulthood is kicking my ass now.
Oh my gosh.
It is, listen, I really don't understand how people raw dog life. Like, it be, and no judgment.
Yes.
But there are people that don't do drugs, they don't smoke,
they don't drink,
they drink water,
they just go through life.
And they need to teach me. Like, if you are out there listening to this and you don't do all of those, I need a lesson from you on how you cope.
How are you mentally strong?
How are you mentally strong with all this shit going on, with bills, with just like life, and having to like take care of yourself, and you're not drinking?
That shit is funny as hell. You want to know what's funny though? Because you were talking about how in college you were broke as hell. I was broke as hell too in college. But looking back, I was so fucking privileged. I didn't even feel any of the brokenness. I was just floating through life.
But that's the thing. I feel like even then, a certain amount of money, even if you don't feel, it can hold you a long way. Like, it can go a long way back.
Yes.
I had an apartment off campus, right?
Yeah.
And I had about 3 roommates, like 3 roommates in my first sort of like main apartment. And I think my rent was like $400 or like $500 per month.
Wow.
Girl, I was living the life.
Yes.
I was living
oh my gosh. I had a job for a while in college. But my job, that money was for me. My parents were not supporting me. But when I asked them for stuff, I would have it. So I'd be like, "Oh, Dad, give me $50. He would give me the money. And then I would go to work. And then my money would be for me. And then his money would be for my necessities. Right. I would be like, okay, you know, my electricity, my electric bill, $60. Dad, give me $60. Give me $60. Pay the electric bill. And then I would get my little petty ass check from a grocery store wherever I worked in college. And I would be like, okay, so what we got to get fly. Yeah. Let's go to the mall.
You know what?
Wet Seal. Ooh, let me go to Charlotte Bruise. Go to the club.
Oh my gosh, Charlotte. Ooh, I have so many shoes from there. And they just like packed up. Like, where the fuck are they?
Girl, that shit was so cheap.
They were so...
You could go in there and get a whole fit for $25.
I used to have shit shipped over to my apartment, and at one point somebody, I don't remember who asked me, they were like, what do you do? But you always have some package like every fucking week. Where is it from? Forever 21.
Yep.
Charlotte.
Yep.
Those were like...
Shout out to all the cheap...
Those were like the places for me. I was like, okay, yeah, I can rock this shit.
Shout out to the cheap bad bitch stores back in college. Charlotte Russe, Wet Seal, even BB. I don't even think they still exist. That's when I thought I was too cute. I was like, that was luxury for me in college. I'm like, ooh, let me get a BB dress so I can fuck the game up. Like, ooh, these hoes ain't wearing BB.
Crazy how... As we're sort of like talking about adulthood, like the other thing I'm thinking about is like how your taste changes over time.
Oh my God.
Like, can you imagine wearing...
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Can you imagine wearing those now? It's just like...
Cringe.
I could not. But then they were like, what? This
bitch,
was the shit.
You couldn't tell me nothing. Yeah. I thought I was so fly. In my Charlotte Russe outfit and my Charlotte Russe
I still have some shoes from them that I never wore. I just shipped it from house to house. I don't know. Like, every time
you one of those hoarders.
I just like...
Take it with you.
And I was just like, at some point I'm gonna wear this, but it's probably not going to happen. And
like back in the day in college, I definitely thought that I was fly. And then I look at those pictures and I'm like, what the fuck is this outfit? This is horrible. Yeah. But that just goes to show you like that fashion change, like it evolves.
It evolves and it recycles too. Because like,
it definitely recycles.
Yeah, it definitely recycles because there are definitely some fit now that like it was early 2000 and now it's sort of like coming back.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
you know, like those like
low-rise
jeans and like now
or bell bottoms. Everybody, skinny jeans does not exist, although I have some on today. Like nobody's wearing skinny jeans
in a while.
Like Nobody is wearing skinny jeans. Everybody's jeans are boot cut or fucking flare. And you're like, damn, what year is it? Is it fucking 1978? Everybody wearing flare jeans. But
I literally went shopping specifically for that now. Like, I'm like, okay,
I did
like
too.
The biggest.
Last week, the biggest, baggiest jean you could find.
It's just so like,
it's so swaggy,
and, like, cute. It's
I love
like
it
a tiny top. Yeah,
my favorite look right now that girls are doing is like the big baggy jean with the stiletto shoe. So all you see is that triangle at the end. Like, it's just so cute. Yeah. I'm obsessed with that.
That's crazy too, because I remember. So
I love that.
When I was like primary school to like secondary school, my mom used to buy me a lot of like heels. It wasn't like the highest heels, but like I used to wear those, like, we call it, I don't know if that's what it's called here, but we call it like half shoes.
I'm gonna have to see a picture of this.
A shoe, but like
mule, yes.
Exactly.
A mule, yes.
So what we call it like half shoe. So I used to wear a lot of that. Like, that's all my mom would buy me, with like those tiny heels, but like they were just like the cutest.
Yes.
And like, I used to feel like, because my friends didn't wear it. My mom used to buy me American shoes. So like or like Italian shoes. Those are kind of like the shoes she used to buy me. And listen, now I'm seeing that coming back, because that's what a lot of people are wearing now. And I'm like, damn, I used to wear this shit when I was like 10, 11, 12. Right. So like I was like 14. And now it's like coming back. And at some point I went through a stage where I'm like, oh,
this is ugly.
I can't wear that. Like, well, why
that's
was
how
I
I felt.
But now I'm like, oh, I need to stock up on those.
Right. I swear, like 2 or 3 years ago, you couldn't get me to wear a fucking baggy jean. You got me out here looking like Adam Sandler. Like, why are these jeans so fucking baggy?
Man, they used to call for Adam Sandler
When Adam Sandler, when he would go to his coffee shop and he would have like the baggiest jeans on, and everybody would clown him. Now that shit is in
like,
style.
You rich. Why you wearing it?
Right. Now he's in style. Like, all that stupid shit that look like homeless clothes. No shade.
It definitely is. But that definitely is like a side note of like, you know, like growing up and seeing how you like evolve over time. The one thing that has also like evolved, but I wouldn't even say it's like in the most positive way, is when I was younger, I used to look at, you know, like 20-year-olds and up as like, oh, y'all are not necessarily old, but I'm like, oh, like y'all are out there.
Y'all are grown.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Now, and me, grown is not, you got to be 45 now.
50.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I know 50-year-olds still trying to figure it out.
Right.
Like, I would be on the phone with my mom, like, Mom, I can't do this anymore. Like, adulthood is like, it's so stressful. You should be like, girl,
keep living.
I'm going through the same thing. I'm like, what? How? It's crazy. It never ends. It never ends. Like, as soon as you sort of like cross that stage of like, if you went to college or didn't go to college, but as soon as you cross that stage of like, okay, now I'm responsible 100% for myself, shit starts to go downhill from that. Except you're a billionaire's child, of course.
Yeah.
You get to start to enjoy more. But if you're not and you're working for your money,
I work hard for the money.
If you're working for your money, adulthood is a scam. Like, nobody told me that. Like, no one told me. And it's crazy because I see this example so much on social media where it's like, oh, like that moment where you see your mom coming back home and the chicken she told you to take out, you didn't take it out, and you just know she's gonna be mad as hell. And then you're like, why are you so so mad?
Right.
I'm like, if you've been home all day and
the one thing
I asked you to take out and you didn't take it out,
I'm finna cut your ass off.
We're gonna have a problem. And now I'm like, damn, that's crazy because I can relate now. Like, and now you have to get, I mean, as somebody living alone, you have to cook for yourself. So ain't nobody that's even taking it out for you.
Right. I was just about to add that, like, during the day or like now, because I'm trying to be like more intentional about like meeting my daily goals or like the things that I set out for myself to do in the day. And imagine something as small as that. If you live alone and you plan on cooking a fucking roast later and you forget to take out the meat, that sets your whole day back.
Your whole day.
Because now you got to figure out what you're going to eat.
And you can't be mad at anybody.
Right.
You can't be like, I told you to, like, you gotta blame yourself. And that's actually the worst part of it. It's like, there's no one to, like, take out that frustration on. And even in just, like, words of, like, I told you to do this, no one ever does this. Yeah. You can't say that. Like, you gonna look in the mirror and say that to yourself?
Girl.
No.
It's crazy. Living alone in your adulthood, it's necessary. It's very necessary, but I'm over this stage of life, to be clear. Like, I need somebody else to have to wake up early and take that dog on a walk. I need somebody else to unthaw the food.
And like, it's a discipline for me. It's like, if you don't discipline yourself, you could literally starve yourself to death.
Yeah. And I have. Trust, I've been late out of pure laziness.
Shit. Like, there's no one that can check you, no one that can ask you, like, have you eaten? Obviously, your parent might ask once in a while, like, are you eating good? But like, no one's going to, like, be in your face, like, have you eaten? Are you going to eat? Did you cook? Like, yes. No one. So if you don't do it,
it won't get done. It literally won't get done.
It won't get done. And it's a struggle sometimes, because obviously, like, some weeks they go fine, you know, you're in your routine, you know, you wake up, you do all the things that you need to do. But there are just some weeks where you're just struggling. Like, struggling. Like, work. And that mental thing is, like, crazy, because it just comes and you never quite know sometimes why you're struggling. You're just like, damn, this shit is just hard.
Oh my God. So this reminds me of something that I seen on social media maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I'm so happy I saw it because it changed my perspective. But like I mentioned, like, you can have like 4 or 5 things in your day that you want to do. Like, okay, I want to work out today. I want to cook today. I want to eat. I want to drink a gallon of water. Like, it's a whole list of shit. And every day I have a list of about 5 or 6 things that I want to do for the day. And if I do them, it's considered a good day. However, I seen this video online. This girl was interviewing somewhere, and she was talking about, like, yeah, I would have these things that I need to do in a day, and if my day starts out and I forget to do one of those things, I just let myself off the hook for the day because it's already a bad day. I missed my mark for the day. That makes the whole day go downhill. And then she was like, even if you miss something on your list, just do the next thing on your list. Like, you know what I mean?
And
like,
just like stop there.
Yeah. Because people get so down on themselves and be like, oh my God, I was supposed to do this. I didn't do it. Today's a bad day. And she was like, the day don't start being a bad day until I don't do like 4 out of 5 things on that list. Like, if I still do like 3 or 4 things out of a list of 6, I still was pretty decent for the day. You know what I mean? And I started thinking about that. I was like, you're right. Like, you can't be too hard on yourself, because if you have a bunch of stuff that you want to do for the day, like, every day you can't operate at 100%. I don't care who you are. And doing those things is operating at 100%. Some days you're going to be at 60%. Other days you might be at 50. And other days it might be even worse, and you might be at 20. But you can't expect yourself to operate at 100% every day.
No, I definitely feel that. And I think that's actually a very good lesson and a good sort of like mindset to operate by, of like, because I didn't accomplish
one little thing
100% of like what I set out to do. That's actually how I've always been. Like, I'm not the kind of person, like, I could have like 10 things to do on my to-do list. If I check off 6 of them,
it's still a good day.
I count that as a successful day, because I hardly check off most of the things on my to-do list. And that's because there's always little things where I don't necessarily put on that list that I still accomplish.
Right.
But because I never wrote it down, or like, it's not like, you know, in my mind somewhere, but I did it, and I'm like, okay, well, that should still count.
Right.
But I think we're stuck on the fact of like, okay, like, these are like the big things I have to, and if I don't complete all of these big things, now it's like the whole day
is
like,
ruined.
Is ruined and all of that.
Yeah, no, I was definitely one of those people that was like, if I didn't do all of the things on my list, today's a bad day. Or I would be like, oh my God, I didn't do the major thing on my list, therefore I'm not doing the other things because today's already bad. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like indirectly,
right?
Because I just wouldn't try as hard to do the other shit because I didn't do something, and therefore today's ruined. And then I saw that video and I was like, damn, I need to give myself more grace than that. Like, I can't expect myself to be operating at 100%.
That's such a huge thing, like grace. As I grow older and like the whole like adulthood, that's one of the things that now I always have to put at the back of my mind, like, give yourself grace. Like, it's sort of like almost like affirmation these days of like, give yourself grace, because no one has it all figured out. Like, everyone is sort of exposing this best part about their life.
Oh, for sure.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, no one wants to expose like the bad,
the negative, right?
Like,
or live negatively
them all the time. Like, oh, are you okay? Like, no one really wants that. So it's not in a bad way, but also recognizing the fact that that is just how life is. That's what social media has done. That's just how things are now. And giving myself grace is so important, because if you don't give yourself grace, you're gonna just break down all the time.
Yes.
You're just going to keep breaking down, like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough.
I'm not accomplishing.
I'm looking at all of these people, they're doing things
X,
better
Y,
than
and Z. Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing better than them.
Yeah.
But all that to say, I'm gonna keep repeating this, like, adulthood is a scam.
Yes.
A big one. There's no one to give you free money anymore. I used to get so much free money. Like, like my cousins or like my aunt or my brothers. Like, my brothers don't even offer me free money anymore. They used to do that shit in college. Like,
wow.
Do you need money? Here.
Girl.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Funny.
And that's actually one of the ways that I was like, oh,
I'm grown now.
Yeah.
Nobody
like, no one is offering me, oh, just take this.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, just get some for yourself. No, now they're asking me.
Yeah.
You know, like, now,
hey, they see how you living.
Now your little cousins are the ones asking you. I'm like, oh, what's up?
Can you give me $50?
One of my cousins, I love her dearly, but every time she messages me, my heart just like,
it drops a little.
Because then now I gotta start calculating, okay, how am I gonna send her? Because I already know the next shit. When she's like, hi sis, how are you? How's work? I missed you. I'm like,
okay, here it comes.
Here it comes. So there was one day particular, I think I was just in a bad mood that day, and she had messaged me, and immediately she messaged me. You know, like when you read something, usually I read something and then maybe reply maybe a couple of hours, like after I digest it. I responded immediately like, hey, I know what you need. Just tell me it, and none of the pleasantries. Just get straight to the point.
You were like, look, you want something, get to it.
Straight to the point.
So we can move on.
Like, oh, you know, like, I'm in school and I just need some. I'm like, okay, bet. I'll send it to you when I do. Now, let's not
have a great night.
Let's not communicate for the rest of the time that I send it to you till you told me thank you. Yeah. Like there's that break in there. But like I just realized like now I'm like that person.
You're that person to someone else.
That I'm right to someone else. So like my younger ones that are like growing up and looking at it. And I'm glad that I can do it for them. Yeah. But at the same time, sometimes a bitch be struggling. Yeah. Like with adulthood, with like just all of like the responsibilities with like, especially with bills. Girl. I could talk a whole episode about bills.
Girl, you and me both.
So there's this particular bill, and this is I don't even know if it's funny or if it's sad.
It's probably both. Share.
But my phone bill, I do not be paying my phone bill. And it's a running joke in my family that I don't pay my phone bill. Like, it's that one thing that I'm like, why do I have to pay my phone bill? So
you're on it.
No. Because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not outside, I'm on Wi-Fi at home. So why the fuck do I have to pay you to use my Wi-Fi?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm usually working from home. And then if I do go into the office, there is a Wi-Fi in the office. So why am I paying you? And they usually send a reminder, right? They send a reminder like maybe 3 days before my plan's about to expire. But sometimes they don't. So at those times that they don't, I hold it so close because
like I don't want to pay you.
Right. Like my family, they could call me, they're like, hello, I'm like, oh, hello. They'll come in like FaceTime audio, like WhatsApp once they see like my phone's not going. They're like, oh, we see it's happened again. Like,
we see it's happened again.
What do you mean? You're like, oh, you didn't pay your phone bill. I'm like, well, they didn't tell me. They should have notified me. So I'll give all of these excuses.
Yes.
And I'm like, I mean, can you? And they keep asking me. I'm like, well, are you talking to me on the phone? Yes.
Then it works.
Can you text me?
Right.
Yes. So why do you have a problem with me paying my phone bill or not? I'm pretty sure like phone bill was one of like the things you check in your credit history. I would be long gone. That shit will be low as hell because I pay like every 10 days after it's due. Like, I could be without like a phone where you call it and it's just like, this person cannot receive phone calls for like 10 days. And then one day I might have to be outside for like a whole day and I'm like, damn, now I gotta pay this shit.
I'm
and now I have to
crying.
go. It's that one bill that I always try not to pay. Do you have any bill like that where it's like you just hate paying it? You're just like, I don't want to pay this shit.
Do I? Well, all of them, to be clear. I don't want to pay all of them, goddammit. If you're
Or is there
listening to
anyone
this,
that you delay that you're like,
no, because I don't have.
You're a good one.
I don't have any bills that aren't necessities for the most part. The only bill that I have, like my phone, unfortunately, is a necessity. Yeah, I have to pay it. I don't really think about that for whatever reason.
I do.
I don't think about it.
I just cannot understand. Another one, which is funny, I hate paying rent.
Oh yeah,
I
of course.
absolutely
It's so
hate paying
expensive.
rent. And I don't know if it's like in Illinois, but you know, like there's this law where like after the 5th day they can start charging you like extra or something. So there was this one particular time that I wanted to really try it out. I was like, okay, let me see what's gonna happen if I don't pay this
Wendy,
bill.
who loves to play with fire, continue.
If I don't pay this bill by the 6th.
Yeah.
So the first came, the second, the third, fourth, fifth. They don't really message you, know, because they know you have that grace period. The 6th came. I didn't get any text from my landlord, and I was like,
Huh. And then what?
I was like, can I get away with this shit? Let me tell you.
You got a fat ass.
On the 7th day at 6 a.m. in the morning, I got an email. Hi, Miss Wendy. We haven't received it. And I was like, damn.
And what was the late fee?
I don't know. It was my landlord then was really nice, so he didn't charge me any late fee because I usually paid on time.
Oh yeah, so he was like,
it was like the
must be
first
happening.
time, right? It was like we just wanted to remind you. I'm like, I didn't quite forget, but I was hoping that you did.
Girl, that no one is gonna ever forget about their money.
Like that's the one thing
Why
about
do you
adulthood.
think?
Nobody ever forgets that you owe them money,
But they always forget to
but
pay
they
your
always
ass.
work. And a very good example of that is when you go to the store, you buy something online, and you pay immediately. They take that shit out immediately. Sometimes
But when
they
you
even
get
take
your
it
money
out
back,
more.
yeah,
They even take out more. Like it could be like maybe $50, but they take out $60 pending, and then they clear $50 of it.
right.
But if you ask for a refund, then they start telling you, oh, it's going to take 7 to 10 days.
Why?
10 to
Y'all
15
took that
days.
shit out
You took
instantly.
that shit immediately. This is for the companies out there. Give me my shit immediately. I ask for it. Like, you don't ask me to pay 7 days after I fucking make a purchase.
Right.
So why I gotta get my money back 7
days.
days after? That's crazy.
No, I'm in a whole legal dispute right now with. Let me tell
Wait
you.
a minute. That's
No, it's so like when I tell you I'm so pissed because I literally cannot believe this shit happened. I have to get a whole lawyer. I got a whole collections notice that I owe them property management companies. How the fuck are y'all telling me I owe y'all money? I never lived here.
That's crazy.
When I tell you that type of shit,
So now you
happen all
gotta
the
pay
time.
lawyer money
to
wow. It's
fight-
the principle though. I would fight
Yeah.
that shit too.
Exactly.
I would fight that shit.
And it's only like $550. I'm like, what am I paying y'all for?
Right.
Help me understand. I am all about fairness because I believe that I am a very fair person. I try to be impartial. I try to be fair to people. So when people are not treating me fairly, you don't even gotta like me or respect me or none of that. You just have to be fair.
Just be fair.
About.
I agree.
And I say that to
See,
say adulthood is the scam.
It's
that's the type of scammy
That's
shit.
the kind of scammy shit, and you gotta figure it out. Like you just
No,
can't let
and
that
there-
shit.
And then there's nothing you can do about it. They just say like, oh well, this is how it is, you know. I'm like,
That's insane.
I'm telling you.
No, like
that type of shit happens all the
adulthood-
time.
And I think like we make a lot of joke about it on social media, and I just feel like that's just how people cope.
It is.
Of, like-
People are literally struggling.
People are struggling, like trying to just live
And just
day to
laughing
day.
through.
And it's at some point, it's not really even about the money anymore. It's just about the emotion, the mental stress, and like just the emotional stress of just living day to day. Like,
Right.
I saw this quote where it's like, I'm not suicidal, but sometimes I just want to like sleep for a long time because that's the only way you don't spend money.
Girl.
That's the only way you don't spend. That's the only way you're not responsible for some shit
Or spending money.
or
yeah.
spending money.
I was
Like by
literally-
just sleeping. Like that's one of my favorite things to do now as an adult. Sleep. But I just want to like lay in my bed and just
nothing.
sleep and just do nothing.
I was talking to my cousin yesterday, which is so funny. And I was telling her, we were talking about if I was, my birthday's coming up. And she was like, are you going anywhere for your birthday? Da, da, da. And I was like, sweetheart, if you see me somewhere for my birthday, just know something somewhere else isn't getting done. That doesn't mean I'm not going. It just means that I have to sacrifice one thing for the other thing.
That's the thing, like the trade-off. Like,
I'm sick of that trade-off. I can't wait to be just ridiculously rich. That's what I pay for. I pray for that wealth.
Money don't buy
happiness. Well, I need a lot of it so I can find out. How about
let me find out?
Right.
Let me get there. Let me find out and see.
Then
I can come back to you and say, hey,
I bet you I would be very happy.
You were right, but I'm not gonna come back.
No, I think I'm gonna be very happy.
Right. I think I will be very ecstatic.
Yeah. No,
like, I will be the happiest girl ever. Like, oh yeah, let me wake up in my freaking 5-acre land with fucking farm and just planting all of this.
Girl,
I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm tired. There are definitely days where, you know, you feel that energy, and then it even starts to get to a point where like you have to take like multivitamins, and no one tells you to do that. You're just like, okay, I need to feel like myself.
Energy.
I need to feel this energy. I need to do this, and now you start to look for supplements of like, okay, let me take this vitamin D. Let me take this vitamin E. Let me take this vitamin A, so that I can feel like a full person.
Yes.
And like no one is even making you do that, but because you're an adult, you have to do what's best for yourself, and it's not all the time you're going to know that. I don't know what's best for me all the time. I just gotta power through it.
Right, powering through.
You gotta do it, and you gotta own that decision. Like, I can't blame no one for the fucking decisions I make. I wish I could. I wish I could be like, you told me to do that. Right. Now you're responsible for it. But no, you have to be 10 toes down
all the time
on your decision. And I think that's how you know that you've grown up. Like, once you're able to make a full-fledged like decision of like, I did this, I'm going to move here and I'm going to do this. Right. You're an adult. Yeah. You're an adult. And yeah. To all adults out there, hey, we're all going through it. Like,
yes, we are.
It's not even, like I said before, it's really, the money is great, right? Like, it's good to have that. But at some point, it's not even really about the money. It's just like, as an adult, it's just a lot.
It's about having more control over your day. Like, I aspire to have more money, obviously. But what I aspire for even more than that is just to have more control over my day, so that I'm not spending the majority of my day working. So that I can actually, I can actually enjoy the day. You know what I mean?
And this is a very, very side note. The things that are starting to piss me off now are those people. I was scrolling through Instagram yesterday, right? And for every 10 to 15 posts, there was about 2 to 3 posts of people telling others about how they quit their 9-to-5 jobs and they were happy, and now they travel all over the world, and they should comment or DM them to learn more. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, first of all, that's bullshit, because you still struggling, bitch.
Right, which is why you're doing this Ponzi scheme. Which is why you're
doing this Ponzi scheme and telling people to DM you a keyword so that they can learn. And that's how you making your money. You're asking them to pay you $100. Like, if 200 people message you for $100, that's you making how much?
And that's a trip.
And that's a trip. That's how you're fucking funding your life. Yeah. And I'm just so over it of like, people are struggling enough. Like, don't make people buy into this idea that like, if you have a 9-to-5, like, your life is over.
Right. I don't believe that
you could do. I mean, obviously, entrepreneur is great. Yeah. But you could do 9-to-5 and still figure out how to live life on a very nice, budget.
Right. And have a balance.
Have a balance. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And
it definitely is.
I feel like there's been a focus now on just the internet, on like, not even entrepreneurship. These people are not entrepreneurship because they don't have no business.
Right. Their business is preying on your mental state.
Exactly. Yeah. Preying on it. It's like, oh, last year, I saw this particular one was like, last year, this year, I was making $25 per hour. And now, fast forward to this year, I'm now making $160,000 per year. Comment to learn more. DM me to learn more about how I did this. And then I go on their feed And I'm like, first of all, you know you're the influencer that goes and emails all of this freaking...
It's like a sales job. You're a cold calling. Right.
To give you 3 days as part of this influence, and then you have to make like 500 content for them just to pay for them 3 days. Like, stop leading people on. Like, adulthood is hard. Yes. It's difficult. Yes. Don't make people feel bad about it. Like, we already feel bad enough that we can't do all this shit. I mean, I definitely feel it where, like, going to social media and it's like, oh, damn, she's here this time. Oh, damn, she traveled again. Oh, damn. But, like, I'm not going to live my life based on that. Like, yes, it's great for you, but I don't know what the fuck you're going through.
Right. And I don't know. That's another thing. I have this, someone I follow, I should say, or I did follow before I gave up the internet. I just don't really have any interest of, like, wanting that for myself, because it's like, sure, it looks great. You're on this trip, you're on that trip, you're with this person, you're with that man, you're in this VIP, you're in that VIP, you are everywhere. But I'm sure you paying a price for that, and we don't see what that price is in your pretty pictures. And I bet you that price is stressful on you. So go live your life.
Hey, I'm of the opinion that if I cannot trace back the hard work that you've put in over the years, I'm not going to buy into whatever the fuck that you're
trying to sell. Yeah.
Like, there are definitely people that, you know, like I've seen on social media where I personally feel like I'm able to follow the progress in life, right?
Yeah.
Without being a billionaire or millionaire's kid.
Right.
And you're on VIP, you're on a yacht every weekend, you're paying a price.
Yeah, they paying a price. 9 times out of 10, that
and
price
that's
is
okay, by the way. We're not here to judge that, do you? It's just a matter of, like,
be honest about it.
Don't lie to this people. Adulthood is not what I expected. It's not what we expected, but we're living through it. We're pushing through it. And I feel like everyone also is, especially as millennials. I think, like, from, like, age, like, 1990 to, like, 1997, we're really going through it right now because we're at that weird growth stage where it's like you should have some shit figured out that you thought you were going to have figured out, but you don't quite have it figured out.
Right, and it doesn't quite look the same for everybody.
And that's okay.
Yeah, but another thing is that we are also living through a time that no other people have lived through. As far as, like, the not the economy, but the inflation,
everything.
Like, the inflation,
everything as I feel like millennials, listen, like, at maybe 100 years from now, there should be a study about us, because the shit we lived through, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. We lived through social media coming out, before social media, COVID, war in, like, different parts of, like, the world, just crazy shit. And it's just like,
that's why we need to go back to giving ourselves grace, because grace. We all
give yourself grace.
We think that I'm not going to speak for the whole population, but, like, people think that, because you're not at a certain place, like, trust me, it's harder for us to get to the places where our parents were when they were our age. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna look the same. And for a while, it did look the same, like, for their parents and then for them, but for us, like, we're living a different life. And it's not like that anymore.
They took that shit. It's like they pulled a rug
underneath us.
Like, now go figure it out.
Right,
and we're figuring it out.
We are figuring it out.
I'm saying, you know, like, there's just so many people doing amazing things, and it's inspirational. Not necessarily that I want to follow that path, but to know that, like, people can really
make it out the fire.
Make lemonade out of lemons.
Yes.
It's just been amazing to see. So, that's our parting, what we would call it, Quayla, our parting gift to you all. Give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
We don't have to figure it out.